Hey guys, this week I've been driving another electric car. This is the Niro EV. This is the Premium EX, so top of the line trim, about $44,000. Has 239 miles of range, but it's actually been showing me on the estimated range calculator 246. So thereabouts, pretty good amount of range. I think it's super usable, especially if you're starting with a fresh charge every day. And overall, this is a very ordinary car. There's nothing fancy here. You completely blend in. The other day, I accelerated from a stoplight next to a Dodge Challenger, and he had no idea what happened. So you can really blend in this Kia Niro, and it's got some nice features, some great usability. It's a little pricey, but don't forget you also get a tax credit still with these cars, depending on where you live and what the rules are. And right now, that's pretty hefty at about $7,500. So that may not always be the case, but Kia has not sold enough EVs to get out of that just yet. This car has a couple options. It has the cold weather package, which has a battery heater and a heat pump. It also has the launch edition package, which includes a heated steering wheel, which I've really appreciated this winter. The heat pump kind of accelerates the HVAC controls. You can get a little bit more heat into the cabin more efficiently. It only really kills your range about 7 miles from standard. And there's even a mode over here where you can select the driver only. So it'll only push air out of the driver's vents, which saves energy, increases efficiency, stuff like that. We're gonna turn that off though, because it's actually pretty warm today in Michigan, 42 degrees. And I'm just gonna turn on the heated steering wheel. All your controls are down here for driving, reversing, parking, neutraling. It's all pretty straightforward, falls to hand easily. Wireless charging, a little compartment here to put stuff, and then really cool cup holders. Press this button, it just kind of pops out, a lot like the Palisade and the Telluride. Another little storage compartment there. Sunglasses, those move. You get a little sunroof too. This headliner feels very eco-friendly, vegan, non-GMO, organic, free range. It's very nice. And you get some blue contrast stitching on the seats as well. Cool looking on the inside, maybe not so cool looking on the outside, but I think that adds to this Niro EV's stealthy manner. It's pretty quick, about 200 horsepower from the 64 kilowatt hour battery. It's a 150 kilowatt motor. More than enough to roast the tires at a launch, but it actually keeps wheel spin in check. I've heard the Hyundai Kona EV is a little bit of a front wheel drive maniac, and this is a little bit more subdued, which is good. Get a cargo cover as well back here. It's part of the launch edition options. Some storage back here. No spare tire. This lift gate is super lightweight, easy to close. In the back, pretty good amount of space back here. The floor is raised a tad, and you can actually see how low the battery goes down there. It's pretty much completely flat, but it reduces your ground clearance by a couple inches. And you do sit with your legs up a little bit higher in the back seat than you do in the front, and that's just to give some more room for that battery pack. Back here though, it's pretty pleasant, pretty nice. I have a little bit of room under the front seats to put my feet, but overall your knee and leg room is pretty uncompromised. Everything else is looking pretty standard Kia in here. All the switchgear, everything. I mean, it's a Kia Niro. Get a little center armrest cup holder situation back here. A couple vents. No USB ports or charging options in the back seat, unfortunately. Let's take a look under the hood. There you go. Lots of high voltage stuff in here. Here's your charge port. You even have a fast charge port down there, which is good. I've really enjoyed driving this Niro all week. I've been kind of doing the whole charge it at night at my house, drive somewhere, park in a garage, and charge it while I'm out at a restaurant or in the city. And then when I come back, I've pretty much done the whole journey there for free, which is awesome. Actually, I just turned it off again because it didn't sound like it was on. There we go. Now we're back on. You do get a spooky little melody when you reverse and when you drive forward at slow speeds. And once you accelerate past a certain speed, that kind of fades away. That's nice for pedestrians, so they don't just walk out in front of you. The infotainment is quick, pretty responsive. You get a nice little section here that shows you nearby charge stations. And I kind of prefer to use the EV Go app, but this seems to be pretty accurate and up to date with everything, which is nice. Let's plug us into Apple CarPlay here. Not sure why it's not registering. You know, pretty standard stuff here with Apple CarPlay, nice and responsive with that as well. We'll leave it on the EV page. It's your battery percentage and how many pounds of carbon dioxide we've saved by driving this Kia Niro EV. I love these cup holders. All right, let's go for a drive and let's talk about this thing a little bit. This Niro has paddle shifters, and you're wondering, why does it have paddle shifters if it's a one-speed electric drivetrain? Well, the paddle shifters control the amount of regenerative braking that you experience. So if you just shift all the way up to level 0, there's a little battery indicator down here, it'll just be in coast mode, and it'll barely give you any regen at all. The only regen will come through the actual brake pedal. And then there's level 1, level 2, and level 3 with regen. And all of those kind of create a different amount of regenerative braking off throttle. The transition between regen and braking is pretty seamless. It's pretty controlled. It's pretty smooth. It's not the best brake pedal in the world, but you do seem to lack a little bit of bite at the top end of the travel, but honestly, you're not really pressing the brake pedal much in this Niro EV because you have all this regenerative power, which is really nice. When you start the vehicle, it puts you into eco mode. It's not my favorite drive mode, honestly, just because the throttle input is a little bit strange, and then it doesn't quite respond when you first push down the pedal, whereas normal and sport mode it feels pretty normal. Just for fun around this entrance ramp, let's put it into sport mode and turn off traction control here. Yeah, have a little bit of fun in the Niro EV with that low center of gravity. You can do it. It's a pretty good amount of mechanical grip from this thing. It's pretty impressive. Even getting some lift off oversteer. There's a new Sonata, look at that. And the acceleration, even at highway speeds, is quite good. This really does make short work of just about everything. It's not as fast as a Model 3 or a Tesla, but it's definitely more than enough power to surprise some people at the stoplights. Let's turn traction control back on here. We'll put it into normal drive mode, and set cruise control. Wind noise isn't actually too bad at speed. There's just a little bit of tire and wind noise, but nothing crazy considering this is a hatchback shape. Cruise control is really easy to modulate and change. You have a simple following distance button down here. You can increase or decrease by 5 mile-an-hour increments. Standard Kia cruise control. Earlier I did have the lane keep assist / active steering assist turned on. It keeps you really well centered, but I ended up turning it off just because there isn't a quick way to engage and disengage that. You have to go through a few menus and settings, and I just got tired of having that come on every time I use cruise control. So that is one of my few complaints about this car, is that I wish there was a way to quickly turn off that steering assist. You put it into Eco Plus mode by holding the drive mode button, and it'll limit your speed to 60 miles an hour. Let's see if we're in Eco Plus, except it's not doing it. How come it's not doing it? We're in Eco. Hold for Eco Plus. Yeah, there we go. Now, you can override that by flooring it, but it's going to beep until I'm under 60. If you just press the accelerator pedal, it'll limit you to 60 miles an hour in Eco Plus mode, which is kind of nice, and I'm sure it does other things with climate control and everything. I've just been driving in a normal mode. This has a pretty good amount of range. You don't need to eke out every last kilowatt hour out of this thing, and you can have a little bit of fun too, and you've got the extra battery capacity to do that. Let's show you guys the difference between level 1 regen. Here's level 2. You can see that speedometer drop. Level 3, dropping pretty significantly, and then here's level 0 where it's coasting. There's a pretty significant difference. I kind of set it on between level 1 and level 2 most of the time. I find that to be a pretty comfortable drive mode setting, and it is a little tedious to always be kind of switching it around, but at least the paddle shifters are easily accessible, and you can find a setting that kind of works for most scenarios. While we're here, let's do a little brake test in 0 to 60. We'll throw it into sport mode, whatever it's worth. And let's go for it. Not too bad, not too shabby. We'll use regen around this turn. For such a normal, boring looking car, this thing actually hustles. The paddle shifters feel a little bit cheap, and the buttons and switchgear feel a little bit cheap for a $47,000 Kia Niro. Really though, you're getting a Kia Niro with a pretty expensive battery pack, and I think overall a really usable package. The thing that this lacks really is ground clearance and all-wheel drive, but I think for most people's uses, this is all they would need out of an electric vehicle. It's definitely not the coolest looking car on sale today, I think, but it's actually been really enjoyable to drive all week, and just the fact that it's electric makes it fun to drive, and a little bit exciting, a little bit of a novelty, because I don't think people are really used to driving electric cars yet. Would I have this over a Tesla? No, probably not. But if you don't want to be part of the Tesla club, then this is probably one of the best answers on sale today at this price point. I don't really have a lot of complaints about this Niro other than what I've already mentioned. Let's do a little sound test here. It's definitely powerful. but it sounds the best at low to medium volume. I'd say it's pretty good. 95% of people won't really be able to hear the difference or complain about it. There were some instances earlier this week where it was just getting a little bit scratchy, a little bit fuzzy. But overall, it sounds pretty nice. Let's turn the heat on again. Get that heated steering wheel going. This is a cool car. I have enjoyed driving this week. It's not a sexy electric car. It's not necessarily exciting beyond being what it is, which is a pretty darn good electric package. But yeah, it's nice. It's practical. It's roomy. It's spacious. It doesn't really make a lot of concessions for having this battery pack, aside for maybe price. It is only available for sale in 12 states. I haven't really been able to find out online exactly what states those are, but I'm sure you can go on your local car listing site and see what Niro EVs are for sale near you. But yeah, interesting thing. I think the number of electric vehicles in the next year or two is going to double, triple, quadruple. We're really going to be seeing a lot of competition from different manufacturers. Right now, at $44,000 MSRP, this isn't a horrible buy, depending on your driving styles and habits. The range from this Niro is super usable, and I think it really hits a nice sweet spot between what's affordable these days as far as battery pack capacity goes, and maybe what is also ecologically sustainable and better for the environment as far as battery pack size. And the performance is adequate. It's nice. It does a good job putting its power down. If it had any more power, it would be pretty useless as a front-wheel drive vehicle. Yeah, pedal shifters are a little bit plasticky, but hey, this is an economy hatchback. Kia likes to call it a crossover, but doesn't quite have the ground clearance for that. If we had a lifted Niro on all-terrain tires, maybe that would be a crossover. But for now, we'll just call this a hatchback. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one. And until then, I don't know what we have coming next. We have a Mini Cooper Clubman, Cooper S. That should be fun with a DCT. And I'm sure we've got some more hybrids and electric cars coming. It definitely blends in, and I think that is a pro to this Niro. Except for the few little blue accents and the Niro electric badge. Looks pretty ordinary. And I don't think anyone's going to give this a second look. Alright guys, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.